What's up, guys? Welcome back to Ride the Bean. Today I'm here in Sweden along the Swedish Trans-Euro Trail, and for the last couple of days I've been riding with my friend Dennis from the Rally.nor podcasts, one of Norway's best motorcycle podcasts. So we've been hanging out here, or we came here, was it yesterday?
Yeah, we are at the Mangwood Inn.
Mangwood Inn?
Yeah, so that's also a good start to mention that.
Yeah. So this is a really cool sort of new motorcycle meeting place.
Yeah.
You were here a couple of days ago, and then you met me, and then took me here to show me.
Yeah, I brought you back here. Absolutely. I've been here for a few times now. Yeah, short story, long. No, opposite. Mangwood Inn is now a point of interest in the Trans-European Trail GPX file that you can download. You will find the POI. Excellent place for camp. Bring your tent, hammock, whatever. You can even rent some cabins if you are lucky and they are available. And very nice people that owns this piece of land and this place, and they just open up for travelers like us.
Yeah. If you ever pass by on the Swedish Trans-Euro Trail, just stop by here and sign your name in on the sign here.
Yeah.
And just hang out, relax, and enjoy the view.
Yeah.
And maybe meet some interesting people. Bye.
Yeah, we did last night actually. Because actually I was here. I went further down the Swedish Tet Trail and had another overnight in a wind shelter, and we were planning to meet somewhere. So you said like, yeah, why not in Gothenburg? Which was like, okay, far out, but just to go to Alchemisten to have a coffee.
It's worth going there to have a good coffee.
Yeah, so I don't think I had any a long drive like that just to have a coffee.
No?
No.
I went to Portugal to have a coffee.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And here we are.
Here we are. So today I just figured let's just sit and have a coffee and have a chat about life and motorcycles and things.
Yeah. Yeah, we have had a lot of that last 2 days actually.
Yeah, we have.
Because we talk the same mother tongue, as they say, and it's quite easy to talk to each other in that manner. But yeah,
it's a little bit tricky for me because I'm Norwegian. I have to translate back to Norwegian now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Become so used to speaking English.
Yeah.
But yeah. But unfortunately, we didn't record most of it.
No,
so
that was a bummer. That was me doing a bad job as a podcast host, actually. No, but you never know. There are situations that you didn't expect to happen. And you can not always just go around and record everything, every sound, every word you are saying. And these talks, they just happen randomly, and they are perform very normal and
yeah, just spontaneously and
and you never get to just push record, but you know, there's also good things about that, because even though we both are pretty open-minded or open souls that can speak about a lot of things, most things even, there are sometimes it's good to just be two people, 4 eyes and 4 ears.
That's true.
And have a conversation that's kind of private also.
That's true.
Even though we like to share
our
thoughts.
So you have a podcast.
Yeah.
It's in Norwegian, so most of you, I guess, won't understand it. But those of you who are from Norway, I would definitely recommend checking it out.
Yeah, maybe Sweden and
Denmark too. Yeah. So, what is your podcast about, first of all?
Okay. First of all,
How did you come up with it?
yeah. How? First of all, that's a very long story. Don't get me started.
Give us the quick version.
The quick version. The quick version was that in 2018, I got rid of I had plenty of bikes all the time. But in 2018, I sold off my BMW 1150 GS Adventure with a sidecar mount. Just because it was too big and clumpy to do, regular adventure riding in such. And I bought and thought to myself, okay, let's just go into the other end of the scale and go very, very light. So I bought myself a Honda CRF 250 Rally. And the Rally was new in 2018. So on YouTube, or let me start with Instagram. I wanted to make an Instagram account. And every Instagram account containing like CRF 250 Rally and everything like this was taken. So I was like, okay, Rally.nor, because Nor is of course for Norwegian, Norway, whatever. So it got to be Rally.nor. Rally.nor. Actually, I can't even say that in English because it's so stupid. Yeah, and it started then I started to search on the internet, on YouTube, to get any kind of content, and there were nothing. And I started to I brought up my mobile phone and started filming myself in the garage, talking about random shit about this bike, and it became a thing, and Change out that bike, and then I hadn't no more CRF 250 Rally to make videos of, and I bought myself a 701 long range, and there are plenty of videos about Husky 701s, so I didn't go there. But at the time I was running a lot. I was running for like long distance running, and I listened to a Norwegian podcast that's called Nå det alvor, which is like, now it's serious. And I just liked, I fell in love with the type of podcasting he was doing, because he was just so down to earth, talking random shit with random people, just bringing that coffee to the table and have a talk and just chit-chatting with everyone and not being too serious about things. And I just love that concept of doing a podcast. It felt like very natural. And I thought to myself, okay, Rally.nor, what can I do? I want to do a podcast. So 2019, I didn't dare to go out and make a podcast because I had a lack of confidence to do it. I felt like, okay, you are going to fail, and all this stupid shit that you tell yourself just to bring yourself down.
Yeah, I think we all are good at talking ourselves down.
Yeah. But in 2020, I just did it. I just started out with an iPhone SE and 2 microphone bugs, and just interviewing folks in a winter rally, and that was the start of Rally.nor podcast. It was like, and it just went off from there, and I got so many nice, comments, and people like to hear it, and so as long as 5 people likes it, it's okay. Then you go on.
That's cool. That as long as you're enjoying it yourself, that's
Yeah. That's of course.
Now I think our coffee is ready. Just give it a few knocks, and then.
Did you just notice that you just put a little coin on me and I just started rambling?
That must be the podcast gene.
That's fantastic. Oh, shit. Well,
What?
as a young kid, I wanted to do radio, actually.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I did. We had a youth club when I was like 14, and they had their own radio station.
Ooh.
Yeah, and of course that was a local radio station, and there was like, okay, there's only 5 of you that can fit in here, and I wasn't old enough, and yeah, all this stuff. But I was always envying these people that had the ability to go into studio, and there was like, a window wall with a mixing table on one side, and then all the microphones on the other side, and people talking. And I wanted to do that, so I went home. I had this double-decker cassette player with a recording system. So I made my own cassettes. So I played some music, recorded just a song, and then I had a hold up where I did the talking and being the radio host, kind of.
So it started early. You were just doomed to be a podcast.
Yeah, and then I flipped over to the next song, and doing my own radio cassettes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Coffee?
Oh, cheers.
So today we're drinking coffee from Rwanda.
Yeah.
I think we tried this one when we were camping in the forests a couple days ago, 2 days ago.
Yeah. This is nice.
From Rwanda, but roasted in Turkey.
Wow.
It's international coffee.
International coffee. Too hot?
Nah,
Not for you.
that's okay. So,
Yeah, a little bit too hot for me yet.
how long have you been riding motorcycles? How
Now,
did that interest begin?
that interest began when I was early age, but when everybody else, they had cars in the sandpit, and playing around with cars and making roads and stuff like that to drive on, and I also did that, but I liked those cars with a very high suspensions and stuff like that, 4x4s, but over that I had motorbikes. So cross motorbikes like Mangwood 250cc and stuff like that. I was just driving those in the sandpit. But when I was 10 years, my mother had this Vespa scooter thing with the pedals on it, brand new one, with huge, saddlebags and stuff like that. And it was tall. It was like, for me, it was up to here. But when she was out and didn't use that one, I knew exactly where the key was. I knew exactly with my photo mind. I just photographed how the key was laying, and I photographed in my mind where the stand was. It was a center stand on that one. I knew exactly where those stands were standing, and I just took off in shorts and t-shirt and right into the woods and everything. I was so.
When you were 10 years old?
Yeah, I was a criminal already. Uh,
You've been riding
I
motorbikes.
didn't tell her that before. After I was 30, she was what? No, but it took some time. I started a family. I never fitted in to get a motorbike license. So I was about early 20s, 24, I think, before I got my motorbike license. But after that, it just like I don't know how many bikes it's been since that, but I started in enduro. So I started with driving enduro riding before I got the license. So at the time where, okay, now I'm going to have the license, I already know how to drive a bike. So
you've always been like more into the off-roading than the asphalt riding? Or?
absolutely, yeah.
Why?
But why? I don't know why. It's like it's cool. You know,
I agree.
that's the cool thing. What can I say? It's like driving off in. I'm not mocking anybody. I'm just saying, like for me, like driving 200 kilometers an hour or whatever, that's not a challenge. Most roads are straight, and it's then again illegal anyway. And no, it doesn't interest me. What interests me is a bike that can give you the full package, where you can go to work, commute, you can go off-road, you can do vacation, you can go anywhere. That go anywhere bike.
That's what attracts me to it as well.
Yeah.
I guess your slogan for your podcast is the perfect one.
Yeah, my slogan is written in stone. No, it's like the podcast Rally.nor, the podcast that starts where the pavement ends. So wherever that is, that's where the podcast starts.
That's pretty cool.
I think that's quite describing, at least.
Have you always been like doing adventure riding, like traveling long distance and stuff like this, or?
Yeah, I think so.
You've always enjoyed traveling in general?
I haven't done much traveling, just because of family situation and stuff like that. Got other priorities, but of course, if my life could have started in somehow another way, it would have been different. Of course, we all have that thought about ourselves that if I could only start again. Yeah, I very early found out that I liked the BMW R100 Paris Dakar with a 32-liter tank. Just because I love just putting my foot on the pegs and don't set them back on the ground before that tank is empty. It's like that. It's like the mental thing. Just you go and you never stop. It's like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I miss a little bit more fuel capacity.
Yeah.
On the Thunder.
Yeah. But still, you can just top it up.
Yeah, of course. Of course. But now you've been doing the podcast now for like 3 years.
Yeah, 2.5 years.
Yeah. You've talked to a lot of interesting people from the motorcycle community in Norway. Like, what is your impression of the Norwegian motorcycle community?
Oh, it's
in general?
rocketing. It's absolutely rocketing, but that's the community in general, not just in Norway.
No.
It's like the off-road or adventure community has just skyrocketed. If you look at it, the BMW GS was kind of the old school, the grandfather of traveling like this. And if you see at other brands that came with the statement of building their new adventure bike from early 2000, and even today a little bit, if you put them in the shade beside a BMW 1200, they kind of have the same shape with the beak and this giant tank, and like it's shaped out
all
like
kind of
that.
a copy.
Kind of, yeah, not exactly copies.
No,
they are not, but
like,
you know, it's like BMW just made what adventure motorcycles became, and it's not true today, because now those other brands do their own thing and trust their own skills to make a adventure bike. So it's not the same today as for 15 years ago, for example.
yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, well, everyone has their
Yeah.
their
And that's what I'm very open-minded to. Like, everyone should have their own opinion. There is not one truth, you know.
You have a Husqvarna now. That's
Yeah.
kind of a unique bike, isn't it?
That was a 2020 model long range, which is a Husky 701 long range. It was built off from Husqvarna, who took that original 701 and they just added an extra tank in the front. For like 701s are just like the 690s. They have the main tank in the back, so you have the filler cap behind the seat. But they took that, kept it, and they made just an additional tank in front. So that was, for me, it was like, that's why I sold my Honda CRF 250 Rally. I had done everything with that Honda. I had added the Camel tank, the IMS tank. I made it like a 600 kilometers radius, 250. Like we are going, man. We are going on a journey.
You're part of the Iron Butt Society, then?
No, but I could have been, absolutely. I'll tell you. But let's keep it to the long range. It was in 2020 early that I think it was on EICMA. They presented the long range the first time. And I was like, what? This bike, are they going to produce this? Is this going to production? I was so stoked when I saw pictures, and I was just looking on everything I could find on internet. Just because, as I say, I come from that adventure GS gene, as I call it. Big fuel capacity bike, and I already had owned 2 of those 690s, so I knew what they were capable of, like going off-road, doing everything. You can even hit the highway. You can, for me, that was a good bike, at least. So when they connected 690 with the fuel capacity long range, it was like, and I think the looks are just like, whoa, I love it. I just love it. So I haven't had a bike for that long. And
3 years?
no. so I'm going to keep that one. I can't just, no, I love it. In 2007, I bought myself a GSA, brand new from the shop. Went down to Prague, went from Oslo to Prague, just used a couple of days down, just surfing down there, having a good time. Meeting up with my girlfriend at that time. We are married today, so still. I had some vacation in Prague, and I think it was on a Saturday. I took farewell, 10 o'clock in the morning. I said farewell, I'm driving home, I'm going to use 2 days, take it easy. She was taking a flight, same day. So I went off. I brought myself a case of those local wines that I have in Prague. I really fell in love with that. So just lowered a whole case in the top case of that GS and just off I go. And actually, I didn't stop driving. So I just went off, and I was
Prague to Oslo in one go?
Yeah, Prague to Oslo in
How many
one go.
kilometers is that?
That is 1,690 kilometers.
Yeah,
So that's a fair stretch.
Yeah, in one go. I've been riding a few thousand kilometers now as well, but usually not not more than like 400 in one go. Maybe.
Yeah. But I'm not doing that again. It's crazy because you get so tired and
it's dangerous.
It's
you
dangerous.
get unfocused.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not. Don't do it. Don't recommend it.
Have you been traveling a lot around Europe?
No, not a lot. I've been just through Europe, down to Croatia, and up, through most countries in Central Europe. And I've also been to Ukraine, just in the Carpathian Mountains, just off-roading, and also in Romania. So that was 2 different times.
Romania was amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I really want to go back there.
Yeah.
And see more.
Definitely. That's a off-road mecca.
What kind of people are you mostly talking to on the podcasts? Like, what are your...
Yeah.
How do you choose guests?
All my guests has this same connection, like knobby tires. Yeah. You have been on my podcast for two or three.
Two times. This is the third, I think. I don't know if you're going to use this.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And people like you, very interesting. There are people like doing stuff for your bike, we're breaking down how the function of the motor is and the ECU and how to tweak and twerk and and going into this tiny details that I don't know much about. Like I was talking to this Rapid dude. It was like, okay, because before we had carburetors and we knew that we have to turn this screw once and just jack this needle up a little bit and port a little bit and do stuff like that. You can't do that on modern bikes. You need electronics to do that stuff.
That's a little bit sad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if you're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but depends on how you see it. Are you traveling over high mountains? This ECU tunes for you, and finds the best solution for air and fuel, and
It's great when it works.
But there's always some.
Yeah, that's kind of I wanted. I originally wanted a GS or something when I was looking at a bike.
Yeah.
But I was just too afraid because, well, first of all, it's too expensive. But because of all electronics, I know that I would have been constantly thinking about it and not enjoying the ride. Like, what if something breaks and I'm in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah.
With the Tenere, I'm an idiot. I don't know anything about mechanics, but I know I can fix a few things on it.
Yeah.
And it's easier to find help.
Yeah.
That's a big big thing for me. But
Yeah, I found myself thinking one day. I thought to myself, okay, if I'm going to travel to Mongolia by myself, straight from the garage at home, just we are going to Mongolia, yeah, like happy-go-lucky. I was thinking the same thing, that if this ECU or anything like this breaks down, what then? If I need some mechanic to help me fix something, what then? What about parts? How do I get parts for that bike? What then? And I thought, like, hey, shit, it's all about the adventure. Why don't you just go for a Java 350? Those are mendable,
yeah,
and there are people that knows those bike every kilometer. There are someone that knows that bike or has that part that you can buy or anything. Maybe they have an old bike standing in the barn and not working last 20 years, but you can have this cylinder, it's so I think it's all about the travel.
that's true.
Yeah.
It's about the adventure.
It's about the adventure, and if you go to Asia and stuff like that, it's maximum 250s, and the most modern bike is the Honda CRF 250. Mostly.
Yeah,
I'm not saying, but
you've had a lot of like travelers on your podcasts.
yeah, I had a few. Yeah, you and off she goes.
Off she goes, Runa,
Runa,
and Thomas Hansen.
Thomas Hansen,
the Nomad Sweden guys.
Nomad Sweden guys. Yeah, and also Braap&Camp.
Yeah, Mattias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have this adventure TV that I also was. That was very funny because they were inviting me to come to join their adventure TV.
They just started a new thing.
Nordic adventure TV, and they invited me as a guest, and I was like scared because suddenly I was sitting in the wrong chair, as to speak. I didn't have the questions I had to answer. and something happened because the technical thing broke down. They couldn't fix it, so the stream was off and nothing was going on. And I said, "Hey guys, let's turn it. I invite you to my studio and we make a podcast for Rally.nor instead." And they were okay. And of course it started like, "Thanks for coming in such a short notice."
Yeah. I listened to that one
Yeah, it's
a
funny.
couple of days ago.
Yeah,
It's funny.
Yeah. But of course, the high star, the highest shining star in my list is Helge Pedersen, of course. Yeah, which did 10 years on a BMW R80 GS. and he started out in the middle of the 80s and came back in mid-90s. So he did a serious travel on that bike, and that bike, Helga, she is also placed at the museum, BMW museum
Here
in Germany.
in Germany.
Yeah. So
That's
you can go and see that bike, that actual bike.
That's impressive. Like people like that are inspiring.
And he has done so much for the community and so much for this adventure community. He has, let's talk a little bit about the shift, because I think the big shift in adventure community, that came with the long way round.
Yeah, definitely. That was
That
what
was
got me into it as well.
Yeah, that was the kickstart of everyone was going off with the adventure bike.
Those guys have really inspired a lot of people.
Yeah. But before that, it was only books, and mostly books. That was amongst them was Helge Pedersen. Absolutely.
What have you do you feel like you've learned anything like about yourself or about anything in
Everything.
particular after starting the podcast and talking to these people?
It's like stay open-minded. It's like talk to people, try to get a grasp of what they have experienced and how they sourced it and how they felt, and dive into those moments, like pick in those feelings, like try to understand and try to make the best of their story, because that is the important one. It's their story that's I want that to shine out,
For me, it's really inspiring to listen to other people tell their stories. That's kind of my favorite thing about traveling like this, is meeting people and getting to hear their stories.
Yeah.
Because everyone has such an interesting story.
Yeah.
Like you meet people at gas stations in random places, and then suddenly you hear their life story, or their struggles, their challenges, everything.
Yeah. And you mentioned at the start that my podcast is mainly in Norwegian, so I can talk to Norwegian, Swedish, and also Danish people. I did one. Forgot about that. I did one episode with Henriette for the Love Wheels.
No, the Danish
girl.
Danish girl.
Yeah, she just came back, I think, to Denmark now. But we did that one in English just because she wanted it. Then I was, sure, why not? We can go there. But I chose Norwegian just because I wanted to keep in the Norwegian community. Do a thing. But it's easier to express myself and also get my guests to express themselves, maybe.
Have you thought about sort of splitting it up so that you have one segment in English and one segment in Norwegian?
Yeah. Well, it's like after 2.5 years, I know that I always have to open new doors and let them stay open, just to invite new things into my Rally.nor platform, as to speak. So of course, but it's been very easy for me just to pick Norwegians because they are in, the reach of grasp. But of course, I could absolutely talk to whoever. So if you're out there, you want to talk, just give me a call.
Just tell them to start making podcasts in English.
Okay, if I get how many likes does your videos normally come with?
Usually a couple hundred, 200 to 300.
200-300.
Well, on average, roughly. It depends.
Okay. Let it just hang there just for a little bit. Now, give this video 500 likes and maybe my next guest will be from a whole nother country. Okay.
Let's get that. Let's make that happen. So many interesting people around. Maybe you get in touch with Itchy Boots.
Yeah, well, that would be cool. Wow. Yeah.
That's a dream guest, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Wow. Now I was like, okay.
Put you on the spot there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but it's cool. These social platforms, like especially for YouTubers like yourself, it's so very important for the community, to just understand what's going on in the world and just see the different parts in the world and be just host of even whatever screen you're watching. You are like in there.
Yeah.
And it's so important that because you cannot get this in most mainstream TV channels, because it's not about motorcycling, it's not about what happens on the road when you are motorcycling. It's not, you can see programs of whatever city or whatever, but not like try to get in touch with that feeling of being on the travel with a motorbike, meeting random people.
I think it's eye-opening, because when you meet people in places like this, like yesterday, people tend to open up when you meet in a place like this, because you don't know each other, and suddenly people just blurt out their most personal things to you, because I guess it's easier to open up to a stranger than to someone you know. Yeah,
that is very true, and it's also, it comes down to, like, we sat there yesterday. We were about 6 motorbikers. Yeah, 6.
Yeah, it was
6 people.
A Dutch, a German, an English, and 3 Norwegians.
Yeah, but all from different parts of life, kind of. I don't even know what they were working with, but I know that there have been situations like that in the past also, that one is running office, and another guy, he's a welder, and there is a coffee brewer, and there was, there are all types of people doing all types of work, and they will never ever meet someone on the total opposite side in their private life, like being at home.
Yeah.
They can only do that by traveling like this, or in travel.
Yeah.
In general.
You sort of drop...
Maybe backpacking and stuff like that, of course.
You sort of lose your prejudices when you travel like this.
Yeah.
You become more open-minded, because you never know who you meet.
Yeah.
And everyone is vulnerable.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's very weird.
How do you, like, for me, riding a motorcycle has really helped me mentally. Like, when I'm sitting on the road, like, hours and hours, you get stuck in your own head. And sometimes it can be dangerous, but it's also therapy in a way. Do you feel like that? Has it helped you, or have you heard stories about like what does motorcycling do for you?
Oh, that's the Zen part of life. I used to be all year motorbiker. Like in Norway, it's cold, freezing winters and snow and ice and not to talk about all this salt because they are salting all the roads just to keep the ice and snow away and stuff like that. It's a really shitty time of year. So I've stopped doing that. But there was a time in my life where motorbike was the only source of traveling, whatever. If I was going to the shops, even if it was 10 minutes away, it was all this gear on and out on the motorbike just to go to buy some groceries. You know, others would just have taken a car or anything like that. But for me, it's like the experience of being outside, the feeling of the roads as they come. You always get the surroundings thrown into your view and helmet and smell, and the cold, the freezing or warm or whatever it is. You are connected.
You really feel all the elements.
Yeah. You are so connected with the and also once a year I usually take one dark night and I go out to ride all in the middle of the night, pitch dark night. And that is when you shut out all the surroundings. You can only see the road in the front of your spotlight, driving light. And that's also when you feel your bike, really can feel it. That's when your senses goes down, it cuts out all the surroundings and you just feel the vibrations and feel how it acts. That's a mental thing.
Yeah. Block out all the problems.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people use motorbikes as a form of therapy.
Yeah, of course.
I was heard Thomas Hansen as well, and the Nomad guys also talked about that on your podcast.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You know, I won't put that in a special perspective in any way, because it might do the same for a guy that just hits the golf course, you know.
Yeah, of course. I guess just having something to do, but
yeah.
I think like the two-wheel therapy thing is a real thing, because it forces you to really focus on something, because you're doing something that's dangerous.
Yeah.
And so you're in between, like, this can kill me, so I have to focus. I don't have time to think about my problems, and it sort of gives you a break in a way.
Yeah. Just I hope that it's not a escape from serious problems that you should fix.
Of course, when you stop, they're there again.
Yeah.
So you can never run from them completely.
That's what I'm talking about. You know, something is if you're stressed out with the kids one day and you have always been too late. This day I was too late to work, too late to kindergarten, too late to buy beer because it closed at 8, you know, in Norway. That's when you can run off like that, but don't run off from those serious problems.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I've been. I don't know if I was running away. I guess for the past 2 years being on the road, I've been both running away from my problems and my past, but also running towards something new.
Yeah, and that is called mending.
Yeah, so for me, the motorcycle has been what has helped me, because it's when I sit on the, like, you meet people, you stop and blah blah blah, and you have experiences.
Yeah.
But it's when you leave those experiences and you have 6 hours alone on the bike.
Yeah.
That's when you reflect on all of these things.
Yeah.
And so for me, riding is the best form of healing myself.
Yeah, but still, you don't know that. You know that won't sort your deeper problems, kind of.
In
Yeah,
some way it does.
Yeah, but it's not like they are gone when you stop driving.
No, not when you stop driving, but
They are still there, but the driving is a part of your mending process.
So it's going to a psychologist, it doesn't fix you after 1 hour either.
Yeah,
But it's the riding every day, and then slightly you get a new thought and a new perspective, and then you meet someone who tells you something, and then you think about that. And the bike for me is like it's like sitting in a empty room free of clutter, kind of.
Yeah.
Because you're alone on the road.
But how do you feel now about your bike, the Tenere 700 that you bought 3 years ago now?
Yeah.
Almost 90,000 kilometers on that.
Yeah, soon.
How much has that gotten a part of you and your identity and stuff like that? It's like...
It is my travel buddy, my travel partner.
Yeah.
So, like, of course, it's fun to ride other bikes, but because of everything I've been through with this bike, it has a lot of sentimental value to me.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna get rid of it, no matter what.
No.
If I have to sell my kidney, I'll do that before I sell the bike.
Yeah.
It's because it represents so much of my life, so many important things in my life. It represents the highest high that I've ever experienced in life and the lowest low.
Yeah.
And all within just a few months of each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
everyone that's followed your channel knows about that.
And now it has given me, so it gave me the highest high, and then the lowest low, and then also helped me heal. Or I'm not saying I'm healed, but
no,
it has helped me process everything that happened over the last 2 years, and given me new experiences and new angles on things.
Yeah.
And being with the bike, like I kind of talk to it.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm sitting in camp, I sit there and talk to my bike as a dog or as a person, kind of.
Yeah.
Maybe it sounds stupid, but it's...
No, makes perfect sense. I mean, people are marrying their bikes. That's another story, but of course it's affection, and it's your travel companion. It's what you rely on when you are in the shit, and it's also the thing or the bike that brought you into the situation that makes you happy.
Yeah.
Even sad, but it's a long-term relationship, like having a wife or a man for that matter, or whatever. It's the same story. It's a thing.
Yeah, it is. It gets you into trouble, but it also gets you out of trouble.
yeah. That's good. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, bikes! You can never stop talking about them. It's like you have all their different stories, and wow! I made a episode not long ago. I visited a motorcycle museum.
Yeah, the one in Finnskogen.
Yeah. Straight over the border from here. And I'm so amazed by seeing all these really, really old bikes, bikes from even the 80s and down to, early 1900s, or is it 1900s?
Yeah.
In English?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Early 20th century or
19th yeah, like that. And all the stories behind that. All the stories about all these motorbike builders that had some views about how this bike is going to perform and how it's going to do and what it's capable of and how fast it can go, and even motocross bikes or sidecars or whatever. I'm really into sidecars as well. I've had a lot of those. It's another just a charming vehicle.
That is some. I really want to try that.
Oh, that's when you get a hold of that, you cannot forget that feeling.
Do you have one now, or no?
Yeah, I have one.
Can I come try it one day?
Yeah, and yeah, you are welcome. And at the one point of time, I opened my garage and I thought maybe 3 sidecars, complete sidecars, are too much for this garage. So I had to sell off some. Yeah, that's also why I sold that 1150 GSA with the sidecar. That was a Kalish sidecar. It's a German manufacturer. He produces sidecars that are tilting. So your bike is tilting.
So it behaves more like a normal bike then?
Yeah. Same, but totally different. Because you are running that sidecar on the side. And you can like put yourself all over and you're almost in the sidecar with your passenger, like doing that thing, and then next turn you brake over and you're like fighting it this way. That's totally different. You have solo motorcycles, you have sidecar motorcycles, and then you have suddenly something totally different. That's weird. That's a weird feeling.
It's pretty. It must be a little bit dangerous driving a sidecar, and
especially that one.
Yeah.
Because sidecar, bike, sidecar goes this way. Then it's kind of slim, because your handlebars and everything is going inwards like this. So the whole equipage is getting kind of slim. But when you're going this way, the whole equipage is getting like a truck.
Takes up the whole road.
Yeah. And you have one more thing that's not so many think about, is that sidecar is connected here with rods just beneath the engine. So when you are tilting your bike like inwards to that sidecar, the wheels of the bike goes out. So it expands the wheel width from the sidecar to the, So when you're going through a turn and there is a pothole, you have to know exactly where your wheels are going to end up. And when you turn the other way, the wheelbase between sidecar and motorcycle is narrowing. So you have to have all these thoughts in your head
like you
at
have
the
to be
same
a mathematician.
time. Yeah, really, it's that's different, totally different.
It seems so scary.
Yeah.
When I met Rod in the sidecar manufacturer in Croatia, he was also telling me that it's like so many people crash because they don't really know the physics of how to.
Yeah, because it's twisting. When not that Kalish, because it has a very natural way to fall in because of the tilt. When you give it some gas, the tilt, it's natural behavior because it's so loose. But when it's a stiff frame, that's when the sidecar will hang when you gas on, and maybe if you brake and there are no brakes on the sidecar, it turns this way. Yeah. So
It's,
really weird.
it looks so much fun, but it's it looks so scary.
Yeah. But you know, the nice thing about that is that you can do really adventures with a stiff frame sidecar, like Helge Pedersen, which we talked about. He converted to all sidecars at one point, and there are others has done the same. And you can just pack up a load of stuff you like you know, you can live out of that. You have a lot more space. Maybe you are too up, maybe not, but yeah. And of course I got the I'm set sidecar now with a two-wheel drive, so I have also a drive shaft to the sidecar.
Ah, well, that's again different, I guess.
Yeah,
So-
but that's a differential lock, so it's only in special occasions when
No.
you are really stuck. You can just engage that sidecar
Because
wheel
it's
and
not
just
engaged all the time.
yeah. No.
Cool. Yeah, well, the sidecar world is
Yeah, that's crazy.
completely different.
And if you don't think it's a challenge to drive a sidecar, I don't know. I just took off now, didn't I? If you go to YouTube, which you obviously are now, and you switch over next after this, and you search for Ironman sidecar.
Ironman sidecar.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
The Ironman TT, you know that. You know what I'm talking about?
no, I don't think so.
You know the crazy race on.
Oh yeah, Isle of Man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
Isle of Man. What did I say?
Iron Man. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking the superhero now. I was like,
Okay.
okay.
Mind fart.
This is a motorcycle that looks like Iron Man.
Isle of Man. Oh shit. Isle of Man sidecar racing. You watch that. You think one person is crazy if he goes out with one racing bike on this course. And you know they are dying like, yeah. And then you think, okay, let's just take a sidecar and place two persons on this. And this sidecar dude, he has to lay out in and out, and then you have two brains side by side that has to think exactly the same thing at exactly the same time.
That's
And they know that they have to trust each other to do the exact same thing just to make it round that corner.
yeah. Those people are crazy.
That is crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah. Nice coffee though.
Oh, I'm glad you like it. Yeah, well, it's been really fun hanging out with you this past couple of days.
Yeah.
It's it was kind of random because you asked me like a long time ago if I wanted to come by
Yeah.
and do another podcast.
Yeah.
And we were just keeping in touch, and I said, well, I'm on my way home this or that time, and then it turned out you were on holiday as I was crossing Poland, and yeah.
I had nothing better to do. So
I came and disturbed your holiday, and you had to babysit me around Sweden.
No, not like that. Had a great time. It's been pouring down some days ago, soaking wet. All the stories that you need to just be out there, traveling. But we met up. It's great to see you again.
Yeah, it's fun. This is this is what I've also find really cool about the community of like creators in the motorcycle adventure segment in Scandinavia now is getting pretty big.
Yeah.
There are quite a few people doing it, and it's for me it's really inspirational to see all of these other guys doing it.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of ideas and inspiration from them and things I want to do.
Yeah.
Watching Nomad Sweden is Robert is also always so like he has this humor. It's funny. You sit there and laugh.
Yeah.
And Thomas is like beautiful nature videos.
Yeah.
And that inspires me to. I want to learn to use my camera better because of that.
Yeah. Thomas is the high star in that one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then now the new rising star Runa.
Yeah.
I was following her adventures around Iceland and now Norway, Sweden this season.
Yeah, that's exciting. And I think it's so nice to have, there must be allowed to say that. Of course, it's easy to understand that a young, attractive woman is, of course, something to look at when you are on YouTube, like itchy boots, off she goes, and all this. But they are also not just that; they are actually doing very good stuff.
Yeah, they're
So please add that to the context. It's like they are doing it very well. And they are so tough, mentally they are going in front for every woman out there that maybe lacks the confidence or always are told that they cannot do this because they are women or
Now there are quite a lot of female
absolutely
travelers.
yeah.
You have like on her bike and of course itchy boots. And then the Henriette, the Danish girl, and then the German Lea.
Yeah, I don't know everybody, but
yeah, there's so many of them. They have I think they have a kind of a community amongst themselves as well, like the female motorcycle riders.
And of course they should have.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's very important for a group like them to connect. Just to have some like-minded to talk to when, shit hits the fan or when there is trouble. I know that it's extremely tough also because I suspect that some of them are kind of stalked. Yeah,
maybe.
Let's just bring it out there. You cannot leave. It's in some certain areas. Maybe it's not that smart to post on Instagram exactly where we are at the time, because it's going to take 15 minutes and there will be other people there bothering you or wanting a piece of you or I
guess that's a bigger issue if you're a female.
Yeah.
I've been I haven't really thought about it.
No.
I've been just like, oh hey, I'm passing through here or I'm camping here and just post it right away.
Yeah.
And I don't think about it. But I'm a man, so it's probably a little bit less likely that something's gonna happen, but also I'm pretty small. So like there's not that many people watching.
Not that small, but
compared to a lot of other people.
And now you are referring to followers.
Oh yeah.
Because in size you're not as small. Yeah.
Well, so I don't think about it, but then I talk to people who have had bad experiences.
Yeah.
And like, oh yeah, shit, maybe I should think about this.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty naive in a lot of ways when it comes to these things.
Yeah.
I don't think about danger.
No.
I'm like, I just trust everyone. I'm just stupid. I'm like, yeah, people are nice. People are kind.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you get...
And of course that you are right about that. You should always think positive things.
In general, I find it like it's easier I enjoy more trusting people up front,
Yeah.
and then once in a while you get fucked over. But because you choose to trust people up front, you have much more genuine, open conversations and experiences.
Yeah.
But if you like initially distrust people and are very skeptical, you don't want to open up. You don't want to. Then it's hard to sort of break through to people. So you break through to a lot fewer people, and you don't have these deeper connections as often. So for me, it's worth every now and then getting hustled or tricked or whatever.
Yeah.
To have those experiences.
Yeah. I think, and that is the price to pay. It's that little fee that you have to pay sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it's not real. It's not logical that you can go around the world doing what you are doing without maybe have a chance of
No, the
getting
shit will happen at some point. It's just statistics. If you go far enough, something will happen.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's enough.
I'm getting hungry now. Should we maybe have some dinner?
Absolutely. I'm like coffees and it's
Yeah. Well, it's been nice talking to you and traveling with you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And
same.
if you understand Norwegian, you should definitely check out his podcasts. And check out his one episode in English.
The one episode in English.
The Rally.nor podcast.
Yeah, it might be that I'm doing video podcasts in occasions now. I started this year. I've done a few. They are on Norwegian. But I'm going to, from now on, I'm going to text them as well. So there might be a solution anyway.
You text them in English?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's coming, but later on this year, I think.
Nice.
Maybe when this comes out, something there.
Well, cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this little chat. It's fun to just have a coffee chat every now and then when you meet interesting people.
Yeah.
If you did, give me a thumbs up, click subscribe and ring the bell. If you want to see what I end up doing tomorrow, I think tomorrow we're heading
over to Norway tomorrow.
along the Trans-Euro Trail.
Trans-Euro Trail, just 60 or something kilometers, and then we are going over to Norway, and we are going to visit Ole Christian, which is the postmaster, the mechanic, the counter desk manager and owner of Backcountry MC, which he's a great guy for the community. He's so helpful and selling everything from tires to spoke wrenches, what you need for the adventure. He's got the most basic parts.
Does he sell internationally or only in Norway?
Yeah, actually he sells internationally too, but why bother buying giant loop from him when you can buy giant loop somewhere else, or Kriega or something? But sometimes he is the only guy that has exactly that piece, so maybe
cool.
And also great guy for your dampers and suspension and stuff like that, because he's working on that too.
Cool. Well, that's gonna be fun. I haven't met him yet, but I've heard a lot about him.
Yeah, tomorrow we are meeting up.
Alright, so tune in the next episode if you want to see that, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Cool.